Be the change you want to see in the world. I always thought it was Mahatma Gandhi that said that. What did you think? Well, in doing research for today, I found out actually it's a line that's been connected to Mahatma Gandhi based on his decision to fast, to revolt against the colonialism that the English were imposing on the Indian people. And it's a shortened version of what he was saying, but what he was trying to impress was, as you change yourself, your outside world will change. And isn't that what this is about? Saying yes to you. So join me in this conversation today because I love the power of what he has to say. And there's this amazing book that I've been reading, and it just really also speaks to the power of us and our ability to change ourselves and then change the world around us. Hello and welcome to Say Yes to You and Why You Don't. For women, great. It's saying yes to others, not always as great. It's saying yes to themselves. I am Claudia Braun, mindset, lifestyle, EFT coach for women ready to start saying yes to themselves. And if you have not taken the 5-minute assessment, I highly suggest that you take advantage of it. There is a link here in the show notes. And why I suggest it is because the assessment is an opportunity to look at why change is so hard. And know that it's not a judgment. Change is hard for everybody. Everybody. I'd say the majority, research has shown that the majority of Americans, or even around the world, are making the same New Year's resolutions year after year because it's not getting achieved the year before because change is so hard. And what I know based on research is that we all self-sabotage. And the challenge is that we don't always know the ways in which we are self-sabotaging. Awareness is your power. Clarity is your key to change. Take the assessment. It'll give you awareness, it'll give you some clarity, and it'll assist you in being able to start the path forward, to be able to be the change you want to see in the world. And there's power in that 5 minutes. All you have to do is click send and you will get the results sent to your email address. So today, consider. Be the change you want to see in the world. It is a short form of the power of your ability to make change. How easy it is for us to blame others for our lack of fortune or the way that things are, or how easy it is to blame the government for why things are not changing, or blame others or institutions for the wrongness of the world that we live in. And yet, that is not how change happens. Have you noticed the more upset, anger you get, perhaps at family members, at friends, colleagues, people you don't really get along with, the worse things go, the worse you feel, the more separation you feel from yourself and others, it just perpetuates itself. So to me, that is a microcosm of what Gandhi was talking about, is that as you perpetuate that feeling of anger, judgment on other people, the more you feel that anger and judgment, unhappiness within yourself, and the more that you make a stance for your own commitment to self-love, kindness, personal changes, the more you start to see that around you. And like we spoke about in the beginning, is that change is really hard to make. And we talked last week about the power of your morning routine. And when you commit to a morning routine, you really set yourself up for a day that's going to start well and then can build upon itself. Similarly, when you have a day where you have not had a good start to your morning, it can just feel like it snowballs. And so being the change that you want to see in the world, what is it that you are perpetually complaining about or perpetually unhappy with in your own life. I remember when I was making changes in my own life, and I would look at others and feel like it was easy for them to make change, and it was not easy for me. And I've shared here, and if you're new here, welcome. And also just to say how I got started on my path to change is I really struggled with my eating, with my weight. It was a big kind of literally weight on my shoulders because it just seemed like no matter what I did, I couldn't really turn it around. I'd lose weight and then I'd gain the weight back. I would make some changes, but then they didn't stick. And I just felt frustrated. And every season when I had to put clothes on, things felt tight and they felt uncomfortable. And it was a reminder that, yet again, I hadn't done what I said I was going to do, which was to lose weight. And I'd say that one of the things I talk with my clients about is really about making healthy lifestyle changes. And what I struggled with was just my weight. I focused on the numbers. I focused on how my clothes didn't fit. I rarely was focused on, was I making healthy choices? What I focused on, I got more of. I focused on how my clothes didn't fit. I focused on how I had gained weight. And you know that line, that which you resist persists. And I kept being frustrated and angry and irritated with myself that I was in the same place that I was before. And I might look around and see other people not struggling, but mostly I was focused on how hard it was for myself and how annoyed I was with myself. And the more I felt that way, the more of that I got. It wasn't until I started to look at things differently and started to think about what I really wanted. I wanted to feel healthy. I wanted to feel good. And I started to pursue things that contributed to that. I started to make better food choices. I started to make better life choices. I no longer said yes to things I didn't want to do. Because frequently I was overeating around situations that I was in, over being with people I didn't really want to be with, or being in life situations that I didn't really want. And the more I didn't like what I had or how my life was, the more I ate over it. So it was a self-fulfilling prophecy. And that led me to making choices that started to turn my life around. I started to realize what I actually wanted. I wanted to be with people who I liked to be with. I wanted to be with people who understood me. I wanted to be in conversations that I enjoyed. I didn't want to try to compromise myself to make somebody else happy. And the more I focused on what I really wanted, the more things started to change. I gave up going to the gym because I didn't really like it. I was bored. And I thought what I do like to do was I like to do yoga. So I went to yoga classes and had a lot of fun going to yoga classes. And I actually found that I enjoyed it and I was good at it. And then I actually found out that I really liked to walk, and I'd always liked to walk since I was a little kid. I always liked walking. And so I committed to that, and I just walked everywhere, which is actually what I did as a child. I walked everywhere. And so I did the things I really wanted to do. Walking, yoga. I found out I really liked eating healthy. I liked making food, and I liked kind of finding out how different things went together. And I got really interested in that. And then I got interested in local food and farmers markets and things like that. And as that became my focus, it wasn't hard. I no longer was focused on, I have to lose weight, my clothes don't fit. It was kind of like magic. Things started to change. And I started to really let go of people who I didn't really like hanging out with. And I no longer committed to things I didn't want to do. And I thought it through. I thought, wait, am I going to regret making this decision? Am I going to want to pull out of these plans and last minute cancel, which was something that I did a lot in my past because I was committing to things I didn't want to do. And I thought, you know what? I don't want to be that kind of person. I want to be somebody who follows through. And I thought, if I want to be somebody who follows through, then I need to say yes to only the things I really want to do. And I became the person who I wanted to be. And I was making the change in myself that I wanted to see in the world. I wanted to be in a world where I felt good, I felt happy, I felt ease, I felt good things coming to me. And that happened. Opportunities came to me, things changed. Work things came to me, people came to me. And so Gandhi's message, I feel, is such a powerful reminder to me of the power of the change that you want to see out there really is about making those daily changes within yourself. I've recently been reading this book called Theo of Golden. If you haven't read it, I highly recommend it. And it's about this 86-year-old man who moves into this small town and the difference that he makes by his kindness, by his questions, by his curiosity. And he in himself has experienced a lot of loss in his life. And through his questions and his getting to know people, he connects to people's true stories and the things that they've buried about themselves that they didn't want to tell anybody. And yet, when they reveal this to him, how much more alive, connected they feel, and as if their world has changed. One conversation by one person's interest in them. And I know that that is what we are here to do. And the more we commit to ourselves, our care for ourselves, our living daily with choices that we know contribute to our well-being, based on a reflection of what is right for us, not based on someone else's story of what is right for us. And I was thinking about that in relationship to Gandhi as well, because, you know, he grew up in colonialism, right? I believe that's the right word for it, of the English oppression on the Indian people. And he could have said, well, that's just how it is. And so I have to suck it up. And he thought, I don't. Like that's not right. The way people are being treated, I'm being treated, is not right. And I'm going to do something about it. And I'm going to treat myself differently and believe differently. And his personal decisions had such a trajectory. And I don't think we have to be in the political system. I don't think we have to take necessarily a stance as big as his, but the stance can be big because it's for ourselves. And that is the shift that happens because you are affecting so many people in your life. And I think that's really the message that I have from, Theo of Golden, is that him moving into this small town, he is affecting so many people by his way of thinking, his curiosity, his kindness, his love that spills out because of his kind self and his belief in kindness for humanity. And it starts with us. Our kindness to humanity is our kindness to ourselves. And I know from working as a coach for 13 years and being in wellness for well over 20 years, it's very easy to be unkind to yourself. I've witnessed it with almost every person I've worked with, the unkind things that people say to themselves. And it is usually something that goes unnoticed because it's almost like white noise. You don't even hear it anymore. The self-judgment, the self-loathing, the looking in the mirror and seeing what's wrong with you, the judging yourself of when you make a mistake, all of that throughout the day has an effect. It has an effect on your inner being. And it's not true. We all make mistakes. It's part of being human. And, right, there is that line, it escapes me now. It'll come back to me. But it is about, doesn't matter. The intention of it is that to really see the truth in yourself of that part of being human is we are perfectly imperfect. And I think it is seeing the perfection in yourself, even when you make mistakes. We're so forgiving with little children as they are walking, learning to establish new skills and talk, and there's so much appreciation for all the progress that they make. And how much different would your life be if you turn that kindness around to yourself? Frequently, I tell my clients to look at the childhood picture of yourself and remember her, remember him when you are through your day. And how would you want to speak to him or her? Because frequently, that's not how it's going. You're frequently not speaking to yourself as you would to a little child. And know that it has consequences. You deserve your kindness, you deserve your love, not your judgment, not your self-condemnation. It has deep consequences that you do not deserve. So today, I'd love to hear what you are taking away and where is the change in yourself that you are willing to see and commit to? Or what is the change that you've made in yourself that you see a ripple effect of, and how that's changed your children or your relationship with your partner or your life at work? Because any one of these situations that perhaps may not be going well can be turned around just by your changing yourself. And that is where Gandhi's words are so powerful. You have the ability to change the trajectory of any area of your life just by the changes that you make. And isn't that powerful? So for today, I look forward to hearing what it is that you have uncovered and what you are doing differently. Thank you for being here with me. I am Claudia Braun, Mindset, Lifestyle, EFT Coach for women ready to start saying yes to themselves. And if you are new here, thank you for being here. And thank you for subscribing. If this has benefited you, I do hope that you'd be willing to like and subscribe and share. It just means so much, as I am committed to growing this channel, this community with like-minded people. And I wish you a really great week. Do take advantage of the assessment. The link is here. Thank you for being with me on Say Yes to You and Why You Don't. Look forward to being with you next week. Bye for now.